Welcome to Tanisha Talk. Here is all and only that common sense chat. Welcome to Tanisha Talk.
Okay, great. I'm back with another episode of Tanisha Talk. How are we all out there in YouTube land tonight? Great to have you in my channel. Tonight I'm going to touch on a topic I think we all can or we all have thought about a time or two, or may have experienced ourselves or know somebody that has. Why are women choosing homosexual men to father their children? How do we all, or have we at some time, or know someone that has gone through this experience? I want everybody to please think on that topic while I welcome everybody in the chat room. Thank you so much for coming. I'm airing tonight from Denver. Please type in the comments where you are watching from. Again, the topic tonight is going to be women having children with homosexual men, and why are they feeling the need to do that? So let's start. I would like to start off by asking a question. Where do you think, or when would a woman decide to think about or feel that she would prefer a homosexual father over a heterosexual father? And where is there a separation of the two? I have come to think that there may not be a choice in some circumstances. Some women may be feeling that there is not an option to possibly maybe choose a heterosexual mate for the father of her child. Or she may be in a circumstance where that is her option of choice, is to have a homosexual, father for her children. It is something that I have seen so much more now than ever. As I look around in the community that I'm in and all over, television, I'm seeing it become more of a norm for that to be the family dynamic, and just how, that comes into existence when choosing a partner to reproduce with. So it's been something that, I have been wondering And so I thought that I would bring it to the YouTube community tonight and just see if anybody else has thought about that and wondered about it, even maybe experienced it. If you have, please feel free to join in on the conversation. Give your input and your insight on what has brought you to the homosexual man rather than the heterosexual one for the father of your children. How does that look for you, as the mother that would be thinking, feeling everything that would maybe potentially arise in a situation like that? The curious minds of the community just want to know. There's definitely no judgment, shade, or anything. I know, more than ever today, we have so much more unconventional relationships that are healthy, thriving, strong, and may even be, a great situation for all involved. And so I want to hear, whether the good, bad, or the ugly, how that, looks for a family dynamic. It does, raise questions on where, for me, now speaking for myself, where the woman, at what turn of events or feelings in her life has brought her to think, I think or feel in this moment that would be a better solution. And, from the experiences potentially with heterosexual men, why it would not be, or why that would be, the better alternative for her as a woman and a mother going forward. It is quite the experience. Well, quite the experience for me to see how women navigate themselves with their children in a moment and an experience with a non-heterosexual mate as her partner, and just how they communicate, how they, navigate through everything that would come into play as far as dealing with what the woman goes throughout, the pregnancy, and then birthing, and then, the raising, and everything that, would go into raising the child, basically. So just those thoughts brought me to the topic tonight. I will honestly admit I was a little nervous to bring this topic specifically to the YouTube channel, because I don't want anyone to feel jaded or shaded or think that, oh, Tanisha Talk is going to be such a highly controversial, talk. Not at all. I'm always going to bring what's really on my mind and heart at that moment, and dig into it, see what and where I can get a feel for what is going on in it, and bring it to Tanisha Talk. So I, again, want to welcome everybody that's in here with me, chatting with me on just where are women choosing homosexual men over a heterosexual mate to reproduce, and what that looks like for them going forward. As I said, I have seen great, family dynamics where that appears to be a great ideal situation. Every single family is going to have their moments where they have disagreements. They're going to agree to disagree. They're not going to, always see eye to eye or, have the same ideal outlook on where and what to do and go with whatever areas they want to go amongst, their family dynamic. But I must say, I am seeing that more homosexual mates that are partnering with women and having children are being a lot more involved and having a lot more just feeling surrounding the whole experience, not taking away from the heterosexual mate that is as well doing that, but amongst in the family dynamic that is set up that way, I am definitely seeing that the women and the children and the homosexual man are actually happy and in whatever way that looks for them. And so, again, that just brings me back to where not that, we're missing whatever could be given and going on with the heterosexual mate, but what brings a woman to allow herself to open up to a mate that she knows essentially really doesn't have those sexual attraction to her in that way per se, unless they're going to do the traditional way of having a baby, or however that would look for them, at that time to do the reproduction. So, I really want to just engage with my audience and just see where, they have also maybe thought about this as well, seeing it in the community, seeing it on TV, knowing somebody, if it's you and you feel, okay, I would definitely love to speak with Tanisha and talk with her on Tanisha Talk about how this experience has been for me. I strongly encourage you, please. There's not going to be any judgment. There's not going to be any shade. There's not going to be, well, what, why would you ever? Because in today's society, whatever works for you and is getting you through and is making you happy, I am the last person that would ever, judge or shade or downgrade in any way or shame you. So none of that's here. None of that's ever going to happen. I'm just curious. One wants to know. And if you're not, I encourage you not to be, if you can, don't be shy about just giving a little bit of insight on your world. Let us in more to know what would bring you as a woman of any race, color, creed, kind of, ethnic background to rather reproduce or choose to reproduce with a homosexual man rather than a heterosexual one. I said, I have seen great experiences, great, moments and things in that dynamic. And it, sparked my interest just to see, where everybody that has also seen this in their community feels about that. I am strongly encouraging you, if you are someone that is a strong believer in heterosexual relationships and homosexuality is not your bag, please don't bring it here and dump it here, because it will not be accepted. It will not be allowed. I only, want real, true, raw, uncut, talk about where you are on your views of seeing this type of family dynamic in your community. So with that being said, again, I am, so thankful to be back with you on this Saturday night. I am doing the darn thing here in Denver, and I'm just very, very happy to, be on this platform sharing and experiencing great ideas and topics on great, insightful issues that I think impact our whole community as a whole. Regardless if you are, experiencing it, it's around you, so you're going to have to live with it in some capacity, in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And how, as a family that is a heterosexual woman and man, feeling about that type of dynamic being in your community, do you look at that as something that is empowering, uplifting, because it's loving, it's caring, it's sharing, it's, doing going through all of the things that any, relationship and family would? Or do you look at that and only see how that family came into play and, not feel as comfortable as you would if it were a family dynamic of how you are, per se? Me, I do not see, the breakdown or discord in the, matter of it being, like I said, a relationship that goes through what any, family dynamic goes through and does what any other family dynamic does. As long as there is love in their heart, care in their heart, compassion in their heart, forgiveness in their, their lives, and togetherness to, keep what needs to be in the situation as, positive and on, the best balance that and focus and stability that it needs to be. Of course, I definitely do not, see where that would ever, pose to be something that I would even really care about. So I encourage everybody in, the seek and the search and the bringing togetherness of joining together as a family in whatever, way that looks like for you. As long as you're willing to put in the work and deal with whatever comes along with however you build your family dynamic, that's what you're going to do. Stay committed to that. Stay grounded for that. Stay, 10 toes in where you have started and begun your journey with the people that, you have created and built this family for, regardless of however that looks for you. Because I know I have saw where mother has, done her reproductive business with the homosexual mate, and the homosexual mate is not, so to speak, in the same home or however with the mother and child, but he is around the way, still there for the need of whatever, is to be done for that family dynamic. And, I think that is absolutely awesome. Personally, I know where it can be hard as hell to keep, the communication and everything else like that with a heterosexual mate. So I just want to encourage for any dynamic of how the family looks, that, we continue to encourage togetherness, love, compassion, care, forgiveness, and everything like that for however, that would look for our family. So that was my topic for tonight. I hope everybody, can get a feel for the question, why are women choosing to have children with homosexual men than a heterosexual one, and what that looks like for her. If that's you, please chime in, please comment, please. You can email me at tanishatalk@gmail.com and let me know. We can come back in here and do another part 2 and, let you give your experiences on, what that has looked like for you, where that is for you, and how you feel about moving forward in that situation. Even if you have a feeling about that, a thought about that, and you want to express that, you can always, comment. I can come back and do a part 2, continue to keep this topic moving and grooving. Email me at tenishatalk@gmail.com. We can get on board with, doing a part 2 more of this discussion, and just seeing, where we are in the community with that issue. As I said, I think it's a beautiful blessing whenever a family can come together, however that looks like for them, and making the best out of it. So that was my topic for the evening. Again, I thank you all for joining in on the topic, hearing exactly how Tanisha talks about that. Chatting in on the comments with me will be a beautiful blessing. I always want to end on a great note with Tanisha Talk. So I'm going to say, you have permission to rest. You can't fix everything or everyone. You will never make everybody happy. So remember to love yourself. And with that, I'm going to say bye-bye until next time. I would love to do episode 3, part 2 of Tanisha Talk, why women are choosing to have children with homosexual men than heterosexual men. If you'd like to continue on with this topic with me, please feel free to let me know at tanishatalk@gmail.com. Have a great night. Bye.